Hey everyone, it's Steve Rozenberg here. So I get a lot of questions from people that reach out to me on social media, and they're always asking me questions, and I'm gonna do my best to try to answer them because I get a lot of common ones that I see over and over again. Now, the first one that I get asked a lot is, how do I just get my first deal? And when I get that deal, how do I know that it is right for me? So one of the things you always got to think about whenever you're getting involved in real estate and to know how to get the first deal. See, everybody always focuses on these big syndications and these massive deals crossing the finish line. But nobody ever talks about how do you cross the starting line? Like, how do you go from 0 to 1, right? That's the most important part. You are going to break so many barriers mentally by just getting your first deal. Just alone by that is going to start the progress of momentum. So when you're getting a deal, look, you can throw enough offers out there and you will eventually get a deal. The question and the thing you really want to be careful about is it the right deal for you? And what I mean by that is you really got to ask yourself, what is it that deal makes sense for you? The only way you can identify what is a good deal for you is by comparing it to what it is that you want. So what I mean by that is you got to have a goal, right? It sounds very simple. I know you always hear people talking about goals, goals, goals. Well, the reality is, when you're driving your car, it's kind of like if you're going to Disneyland, you got to know where you're going before you get in the car, right? You're going to Disneyland, Magic Mountain, Knott's Berry Farm. If you're going to Disneyland, that's the goal, right? Now, the strategy of that goal is going to be the different freeways. So let's say you leave LAX and you're going on the 405 to the 91, and then you're taking that to Disneyland Drive and getting off. That's the strategy. So your goal may be your Disneyland, whatever it is that you and your spouse, significant other, family decide that you want. And then from there, you got to back it out and say, okay, how do we get there? Meaning, what is the strategy? You may say, we're going to buy 2 properties and we're going to flip 1, and then we're going to take the cash flow from that property, buy another 2, whatever the strategy is for you, right? Depending on your market, where you live, right? If you want properties that are cash flowing $500 a month, that are in the $300,000 range, but you live in the San Francisco Bay Area, that may not make sense. Which means now what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to go back and you're gonna have to reassess and ask yourself, okay, either I have to change my strategy because this doesn't work here, or I've got to change the goal, meaning this goal is not going to work. It's kind of like if you had a canoe, a boat, and you're at LAX airport, that is not going to get you on the strategy of the freeways to get to Disneyland. So sometimes you've got to change it all. Now, what's interesting is the last piece of the puzzle. That is actually called the tactic, right? The tactic is the actual vehicle that you're going to drive on the freeway. So the vehicle may be a multifamily, single family, condominium, townhome, mobile home. Those are tactics. The biggest mistake many people make, and myself included, I've done this when I first started, is we buy the tactic first, and then we decide what strategy it fits in. And very rarely do we ever ask ourselves, does this actually get us to our goal? Do we actually have a goal? So it's kind of like jumping in any kind of car, jumping on the freeway, and you don't even know if it's the right freeway, if it's heading in the right or wrong direction, and it's taking you to where you want to go. So you got to plan this out. I always tell people that the hardest part about being a successful real estate investor is actually taking the time, slowing it down, and planning what you're going to do and before you start executing. See, many times as entrepreneurs, we want to hurry up. It's like ready, shoot, aim. And then we go, now I own a house, not sure that's the right one, and I don't know what it's doing, and I don't even know what to do with the property. Is it making money? Is it not making money? Is this getting me to where I want to go? Is it not? And again, I know that because I've done this. And so my advice to you is before you buy a house, right? Before you get that first deal, or even if you have a couple deals and you're trying to figure out if this is working, slow it down so that you can speed it up. Sit down, figure out what it is you want out of life, right? Because it's not really the money. The money is not going to buy you the happiness. It's what the money's going to give you. That is what will buy you the happiness. Figure that out, plan it, and then you can start executing based on what the goal is, what the strategy is to get you there. And the last piece of the puzzle is the actual property. And whenever you're wondering, is this or is this not a good deal? Always go back to the strategy and the goal and ask yourself, does this align with the strategy to get me to my goal? If you can't answer that, then you don't buy it until you can answer that very, very clearly. So hopefully this was helpful. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also check out my website, steverozenberg.com, and I will see you guys later with much more content to come. Bye-bye.